something that we saw them have on every hero for KSK in Game 2. And Team Family, they go into the Grimstroke.
Yeah, the double Wrath of Nature combination is one of the lesser frequently seen combos that we see with the Soulbind. More often than not, it's the Chain Frost with the Lich. Sometimes you'll see like Lino for double Laguna Blades, and I guess like there's one more hero that I feel like I see. Oh, Witch Doctor. I'll see like double Paralyzing Cask pretty frequently. But double Wrath of Nature is devastating in team fights, so I can definitely see the potential here.
So, it could set up to be that Nature's Prophet mid, Pango 4, Grimstroke 5, or do you think Pango maybe sits in the offlane, or is that just inconclusive right now with where the draft's at?
Let's see if Kuro has it. Oh yeah, he plays a lot of Pango. Okay, this is definitely a 3-position Pango then, because I find 4-position Pango to be much more challenging, and I don't think many tier 2 teams can pull it off. Even tier 1 teams struggle to pull it off. And then you can also do mid lane, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a Prophet mid lane, because with the Grimstroke, like Prophet will get so much damage from the Wrath of Nature buff that I imagine they want this to be a core Prophet, and they need someone to be able to be an initiator. They can go for another one, but I'm suspecting that this Pango is probably an offlane.
Now KSK, they go to the Spectre. They'll pick up the Riki for that safe lane here for Team Family. Spectre, to me, sometimes just feels like a hero that builds up way too slow.
Yeah, especially if she has to play against a Riki. Riki is one of the fastest carries that we've seen these days. I consider Riki to be even faster than Gyrocopter, which used to be that Gyro was one of the fastest kind of 20 to 40-minute carries, which Riki caps out sooner. So I'd say Riki's more like a 20 to like 30-minute carry, 20 to 35 minutes probably. But he is so incredibly elusive. He doesn't really need anything other than the Diffusal Blade. Even with just like triple Wraith Band, he can pick up solo kills pretty easily around the map. So Spectre is going to have to need a ton of space created for her. And with a Prophet constantly roaming around the map and a Riki constantly roaming around the map, I definitely would be kind of stressed out to be a Spectre this game.
And that Riki pick was very quickly after that Spectre got chosen there by KSK.
Yeah, and pretty much every single game Sunlight has impressed me. His Phantom Lancer in Game 1 was fantastic. His Troll Warlord in Game 2 almost was able to single-handedly carry the game, but just fell short ever so slightly. And so I think that he will be very, very difficult to deal with on this Riki.
So last ban is that Queen of Pain. I think maybe for Mio, he should be happy about that.
I would be very impressed if Family are actually saving their last pick for Mio, because they have not done that at all in any of the games that I've seen. They've always picked Mio's hero first phase, and they usually end up picking, I feel like, their offlaners towards the end. They picked that Bristleback or whatever in Game 1, which ended up being a mid laner, and then in Game 2, I actually don't know if they saved their offline for the last pick in Game 2, but whatever the case, I would be very surprised if they pick a Mio hero here as their last pick. I'm guessing it'll be a 4-position, a Spaker hero.
And Storm. So it will be Mio Storm, Nature's Prophet. I wonder, we were talking about how the Pango should be the offlaner, but Nature's Prophet is certainly one of those heroes that sits well in the offlane.
To be fair, I did not look at Spaker's, well actually I don't even know how I would be able to find him on Dota buff, so it's possible that he does have Pango as an arsenal, which would be interesting. It could also be 4-position Prophet, or it could be 4-position Grimstroke and 5-position Prophet, so yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to see until they start selecting their heroes. But now that it's a mid-storm, I think you're still okay sending Void Spirit mid against that, unless if you have a really good counter pick. Yeah, they're just going to pick a traditional offlaner.
on top of the whole Spaker thing, they have so many stand-ins, we don't even know if they're keeping the same positions.
Also true, yeah. So I'm assuming that Kuro's going to be a 3-position Nature's Prophet, but I have no idea. You're right, with Spaker being a stand-in, he may be the core, so we'll have to see. But, you know, they rounded out with an axe. Grimstroke Ricky is a very, very difficult lane for anyone to deal with. So the best way to deal with it is to just not play the lane and just cut the wave constantly. They could have gone Bristleback. They end up going with the axe. Axe is also fine. Centaur was banned out as the last ban by family. So anyone who can cut waves is really the answer to this incredibly difficult combination of Grimstroke and Ricky.
So 0 on that axe, low skill on the Spectre, Solar on the Rubik again. Me this time with the Jakiro and copy on the Void Spirit.
Will Mio be good this game? What do you think?
It's another one of those heroes that very mobile. Should be able to get some things done here, but it just... I'd like to say Mio shocks the world and shocks me and gives us that performance that we've been yearning for from him.
Fingers crossed. I'm also hoping for it, because I think a Storm Spirit can definitely pop off this game. If he manages to get an advantage on Void Spirit, like, that's what's fun about watching all the Spirit matchups, is that they all have mobility, and so whichever one gets like the upper hand earlier on, it's so fun to watch them like chase each other, because they, like, Storm Spirit's obviously the least cooldown dependent of all the spirits, because Ball Lightning has no cooldown, whereas Ember and Void Spirit are kind of charge-based mobility. And same thing kind of with Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit's the least mobile, as he is victim to charges and cooldowns. So, I don't know. Hopefully Mio, agreed, does take advantage of his mobility and do stuff earlier on in the game.
So see what Mio's able to accomplish in this mid lane, on top of which how Sunlight's going to do here. Talked about how the Grimstroke Ricky is very strong. Early on, is this axe? Are you look to creep cut eventually, or is it more of a stay in your lane kind of game?
For levels 1 and 2, he'll stay. He'll have to leave at some point, because there's really nothing you can do against Inkswell and Blink Strike. It's just too difficult.
The battle begins.
And Master Risk, will he be able to get this rune? He does.
3, gonna be 4 here for Team Family, or Family Team.
Pretty sick. Alright, so let's see here. Spaker has an Orb of Venom, and Kuro... Okay, so it does look like Kuro's going to remain the 3 position, and it is going to be a 4-position Pango. Which, again, I find to be kind of difficult to pull off. This game against these heroes, yeah, it's not going to be an easy Pango game. It's not going to be an easy game to, like, be useful. I don't really see him dying very much, but I don't really know how much he'll be able to offer in terms of, like, I don't know, being a good initiator with Rolling Thunder. The disarm isn't really going to be that useful this game either, so we'll see what Spaker's capable of.
Let's see what he can do on this Pango here. And then bottom, of course, we were talking about that Ricky, but over mid, it's the Void Spirit, Storm Spirit brother matchup. Are they brothers? Is that the lore? Brothers, yeah, yeah. Or...
All 4 of the spirits are Super Spirit brothers.
Okay.
Oh no, he misses the range creep. Rip.
Can't be missing those.
Can't be missing those, especially with Resonant Pulse.
He's actually holding a point for the moment. And we saw him in the previous matchup going into the Dissimulate constantly, avoiding the Shadow Strike. But at least right now, it's just Resonant Pulse.
As useful as a lot of points in the Aether Remnant will be, I don't anticipate him needing it. It's probably just going to use Dissimulate and Resonant Pulse to farm up.
Back when Void Spirit first came out, I know a lot of people were testing, like, if I go heavy into the Aether Remnant, how well will my lane go? It's more skill-based at that point if you can land it. really
Yeah,
mess with
the,
your
the
opponent.
problem is that early on, like, there are so many creeps and other units that are walking around that can intercept the Aether Remnant. It's mainly useful once the laning phase ends and you're able to get fights in like awkward positions. So even 4-position Void Spirits will oftentimes like max out the Resonant Pulse just so they can farm up the Yules, and then they'll start putting points inside the Remnant. Which will also kind of be a problem this game, because this game they have Treants to be able to intercept it. Ricky's very slippery, so he can kind of like walk in and out, which didn't you and I see that, I feel like, in the Family of Viking GG series, as we saw this Ricky kind of like consistently making things very, very unpleasant for the enemy Void Spirit. I don't remember now.
Yeah, I think so. At least for right now, Sunlight's in level 3. He's gone in 2 to the Blink Strike, Master Risk, Stroke of Fate, as well as that Inkswell, which is, I think of that same matchup, something we saw. Was the
I'm pretty
Inkswell
sure
with
it is.
Ricky.
And it may have been against an Axe also. I don't remember now. It was either against Axe or a Bristle. I think it was against a Bristle. But yeah, this is just like such a potent lane combination. It's possible that they'll wait until level 3, or they'll wait until Sunlight has both points in his Blink Strike up. Because Rubik should be a pretty easy kill.
Especially in those early levels. When Telekinesis is on cooldown. Just 34 seconds with nothing, really.
That's brutal. And yet the hero is still top tier, so...
Yeah, the Fabled early is still very strong. I like it. I think it sits very well. I'm more inclined to dump more into the Arcane Supremacy in the Fable, but I am not a pro player, so my decisions don't matter as much.
I think if you can afford to go aggressive, it's always nice. Oh, actually, Master Risk not opting to put the Inkswell on the Ricky. And mid lane, like 4 people showing up.
And Copy Sync level 5. A couple of creeps ahead of Mio for the moment, even though the CS is about even. It is even. Might have been the difference in experience with Jakiro not completely making the rotation over and Spaker just sitting there over mid for a creep or two.
Yeah, he's doing just fine.
So far, pretty quiet to start. Although that
Now the creep
swashbuckle.
cutting.
Oof. What can you do about this creep cutting? We saw, I think, the last, or the Bristleback game, there was...
Until Ricky hits, like, level 5 or 6, it's not really worth it. Because, I mean, who really cares if he's managing to cut the wave? It's an Axe, and your Ricky is still getting effective free farm, so it's not really that big of a penalty to let an Axe do that unimpeded. Because also, now Rubik is like, where am I supposed to find my experience now? Because if the Axe is getting all of it, as First Blood actually spills onto the Jakiro, then, I mean, Rubik has to find level 6 eventually, and if he can't find it in the offlane, then hopefully he'll be able to rotate with his 1 point in telekinesis.
Yeah, it's tough for Solaire, and you take a look at over top, as it was on camera, we saw the Jakiro just... He was in the Sprout, gave enough time for Spaker to come over with a Swashbuckle. Does a lot of damage there on the Filmini, and then the right clicks coming in with the extra minus armor with Blightstone is enough to get that kill to start it off.
And now Rubik is going to TP top. It's not really a kill lane. Jakiro has 0 points in Ice Path. Spectre does have 3 points in the Dagger, and she is full HP, so she may be able to go aggressive on it. But I don't know. If either of Kuro is teleports are up, then he should be able to get out. Which right now neither of them are up, so he actually may die here.
Oh boy, gets caught in the trees, in a lot of trouble. He'll try to at least micro some of these treants to maybe get some last hits as he's on the run. If he survives through this, that would be pretty impressive. A Sprout blocks them out, but the Dual Breath is there for Film, and he gets a little bit of revenge as he gets the kill there on Kuro.
Rubik ended up not really being involved. I guess he kind of was intercepting Spaker's Pango, who's taking quite a bit of damage, but good timing on that rotation. They saw that after that first blood was spilled, the Prophet had used his TP scroll to get back to the fountain, and then he immediately used his teleportation spell to get back to the lane. So they strategically timed it that both the ways to get out of the gank were down.
So the Axe is continuing to creep cut, but that gives
Watch
Sunlight
your
the lane
courier,
for
bro.
free. Ooh,
No.
Grimstroke. You just
Come
let that.
on,
That
man.
is. You know he's creep cutting. He's been doing that for so long.
You hate to see it.
That is just. I don't know. A lack of situational awareness.
Yeah. And wow, Copy actually brings Mio down super low. Spaker comes in now, but sends the Storm Spirit all the way back to the fountain.
Zero now into the jungle. Again, still continuing to give Ricky just a free lane to farm in. And his courier won't be killed, so he'll grab himself
Copy
some treads.
going in on the Pango mid. Oh, he's close.
Spaker sitting low, but now the turnaround to Simulate. Gets back to the high ground. Inkswell might find Solaire. Good telekinesis, but back over with the ball lightning enough to get the kill there. As Kuro makes the rotation in and helps to get that kill.
Wow, 4 heroes end up showing mid, and really they only end up killing a Rubik, so Void Spirit's pretty satisfied with that. Although Storm does find an Arcane Rune now, but knowing Mio, he's just going to use that to farm up as opposed to try to kill a Spectre, which I feel like they have the potential to. Nature's Prophet deals quite a bit of damage. Sure, she can just phase out at the Sprout, but I don't know, even then, I feel like... Oh, actually he's going to go on mid.
Yeah, Copy not in too much trouble, but that kill for Mio did come in the AoE of where we said he gets kills. Here.
True.
Doesn't exactly
So he
move
hasn't
around too much.
gone far from home quite yet.
It's definitely a trend, and that is maybe not a good trend to be having.
No, because even if it is like the right call for certain games, it's not. You become very readable, and people will always know, like, oh, you know, again, like it's what I had said in the previous game. If the mid is ever off the map, you want the enemy team to be stressed out, and you want the Spectre to be like, I don't know if I can farm it this far. But if you know the mid never rotates, then you don't need to be too concerned, and you're not slowing down anyone's farm.
So Mio backs into the jungle. He'll take this camp right here, as well as picking up a trusty shovel with the faded brooch on the way. Nature's Prophet going into the early Orchid. He's got that minus armor with the Blightstone. So does he go Orchid into Deso? Is that the play here for Kuro?
I'm actually kind of surprised he's going for the Orchid so early on. I guess they really want to shut down this Void Spirit, because it doesn't seem like it would be useful at killing the Spectre, sure, but she's quite tanky. So I don't really think that
Copy kind of found in a bad spot. Aether Remnant locks up the Ricky. Storm goes for the Rubik, and now might make his way over to go kill Copy, but the Astral Step, does he have the mana to make it over to the Void Spirit? No, he doesn't, and that means he can just TP away.
Yeah, good timing. Outpost 1 apiece, but Bounty Runes are going to be pretty favored for Radiant with that timed attempt, and they'll just turn it into a push mid now as Kuro showing up with 3 points in his treants. Sunlight's still just chilling bot, he's doing fine, making pretty solid progress on his double Wraith into Diffusal, while the rest of his team pushes mid.
This has been the plan so far for the Ricky, and he's out farming the Spectre by about 500 gold. Nothing too crazy in terms of that. Split, they have a 1,000 net worth lead, and now steals the Static Remnant.
Wow, they really don't want to have to go with this mid-tier 1 tower, which is understandable, because you compromise a lot of your jungle control, and Spectre's a hero who's going to be spending a ton of time in the jungle. And so, giving up jungle control against the Storm, bad. Giving up against control against the Storm and a Ricky, that's devastating.
Top Witch Spectre had shown over bottom for a second, doing a bit of damage there on to Sunlight, but still staying stationary, and he'll continue to try and farm up this Diffusal. It's not too far away from the second Blade of Alacrity, and he is coming into this Diffusal pretty quickly.
Man, Master Risk is just kind of like chilling behind this Ricky, but not really doing anything. He's waiting for a moment.
Mio gives up the ball lightning. This is something that we've seen with Mio up against a Rubik, is giving up those top tier Rubik Steel spells. Ball lightning may not be one of those. I definitely think the mobility, though, anytime you can get something with mobility for a Rubik, seems like it can be quite the help.
Yeah, at level 6 it's not as important. It's Copy trying to go on Spaker. Spaker threatening the Rolling Thunder.
Definitely the Rolling Thunder, one of those for the Rubik. That's a very good one, because he doesn't have to do that jump and spin. But here comes the Rubik. They've got the Soulbind, and now Ice Path with the Inkswell. That's not actually going to catch, but they'll get the kill into Film, and he's still got that Ball Lightning to jump away from this this exchange. So they do just get the kill there on the Jakiro. It brings 4 heroes towards bottom. Mio continuing to farm, looking for that Kaya, potentially into the Bloodstone. And Nature's Prophet back into the jungle to farm up this Orchid.
You're leaving Spectre alone, like, so much, which is surprising. She has no lane support, she has no wards even on like, her lane. And yet they're just kind of letting Spectre do her own thing, which she's going to go for a Radiance, and it's... Ricky doesn't necessarily worry about that too much. You're able to stick onto targets and get enough attacks as well.
Actually, Blink reveal. Haunt comes in. They've got the Macropyre as well as the Ice Path, Telekinesis, and Sunlight surviving as the silence came out on the Culling Blade. He blinks away, but not far enough. And now Spaker tries to get the Rolling Thunder off, but the call is there again for the Axe Ice Path to follow it up, making sure he goes nowhere. And it's 2 kills for Zero and 2 kills for KSK.
Yeah, solid Blink Dagger reveal. Unfortunately, Tricks of the Trade was being used for farming, I suppose, and so it was on cooldown. He did end up dodging the dust, but it didn't matter, as now Storm Spirit shows up, gives up Ball Lightning, but they get the silence onto the Spectre.
And they get the kill here. Master Risk trying to throw some right clicks in. Finally finishes him off with the Stroke of Fate. The Inkswell hits onto both the Jakiro as well as the Axe. They've got the call. They've taunted up this Storm. Mio trying to run, but, well, taunted up and killed off as the Culling Blade comes in from Zero. He still had it available as he was going to use it onto the Ricky, but he got silenced previously as Sunlight was killed that first time. And he's able to blink away. They dust up just to make sure that Ricky isn't following, and he's sat back a bit.
Ooh,
Copy here Invis, though.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Axe is too low HP that he can't stick around in this fight any longer. But instead, they'll find the Rubik.
He's going to get soloed. Macropyre comes in after, but it doesn't do the killing blow. Copy gets the kill, and a Master Risk basically solo. Blink Strike, Ice Path, locks up the Ricky. Now they've got Kuro coming in. Filmini, well, will end up dropping to Sunlight. Still thinking about the Rolling Thunder, and the more you think of it, the less it's going to help you, because now you've been killed off second time over in this bottom lane. Great blink call! Whoa! Nothing to follow it up, but still a good one.
Well, after all of that, Sunlight does manage to complete off his Diffusal Blade, so I think in the end he's pretty satisfied with that exchange. He does tank the Blink Dagger reveal of Axe, but him being able to get a couple of return kills on the supports, the Rubik and then the Jakiro, seems like a worthy exchange. Although Mio does end up dying as well, getting called down by that Axe, so overall relatively even.
Spectre back to farming.
Yeah, working the way to the Relic. Unless if Haunt is up, I imagine this is where we'll see low skill spending the majority of his time.
Let the fun begin. Stupendous.
They have the 8th already down. Mio
The rune's not
that.
even there. KBU actually picks up, Sunlight picks up the haste rune bot, so immediately goes mid.
Yeah, Solar ends up dead. It'll into the backlines on Filmini. Mio, not a lot of mana to work with, as he's got the Electric Vortex to pull in Zero, or to pull in a couple here, as Zero ends up dropping to Sunlight, and now they've bought back on 2 of these heroes. They've used the Haunt. They've got 3 heroes. Oh, great call! Woo! Zero! On it with that blink call.
And Mio's all out of mana. He's getting found out by Copy.
Yeah, and he is in
screwed.
a lot of trouble and dead.
All right, now Zero's definitely redeeming himself for that Centaur game, which he still won that game, but this time he's actually being a real initiating force, being able to get that initial Blink Dagger reveal onto the Riki, get a 3-man call, 3-man turnaround. It did cost him a buyback, to be fair, and the Rubik also bought back, but this early on, being able to slow down the Riki's momentum and the Storm Spirit's momentum is absolutely worth it.
It's keeping the game close too. I just feel like they need to be going after the Spectre more.
Yeah, I mean she's got relic money and just one more creep, so it's not really often that you'd see a Spectre being this aggressive against a team like Radiant, but they're just not bringing the fight to her, so she can just take the fights at her leisure.
Seems to be the MO of this Team Family squad. They do smoke up. They're going to look towards bottom. It's the Riki, actually, who's going into the Desolator. Are they going Deso on this Nature's Prophet? No, he's going to go BKB after picking up that Orchid.
Wow, Deso Riki.
Ball lightning, and the damage on the copy is very big. And he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, they immediately move mid. They could definitely go on low skill here. Long leap.
That's what they've wanted for so long, but again, the blink call coming in from Zero. I believe Mio avoids that. They'll still be able to get the kill here on a low skill. Soulbind, that was hitting onto the Rubik as well as the Void Spirit. The Diffusal slows up both of them. Axe trying to keep up with either of these heroes. Blink looking for the call. Mio out of mana. Now Zero able to catch up, but you need to be careful because Kuro's here. How far are you willing to go? Far enough because Mio ends up dead, but Sunlight is here. Zero hits the deck. And it will be a 1-for-1 trade on that part of this fight, but they also get themselves the kill onto the Grimstroke.
Yeah, I think it is pretty valuable for them to be going this deep onto the Storm Spirit, because that does cost Axe's buyback death, and so he's going to be dead for quite a while, but still, being able to get these kills is pretty valuable. Sure, the Riki gets larger and larger, but you're buying more time for the Spectre. And I think a farmed up Storm Spirit is a bigger nuisance for a Spectre than a farmed up Riki is. Especially because, I mean, if you have the Radiance, then I find it definitely more irritating for the Storm Spirit to like not be able to miss a couple of overload attacks and stuff like that.
Let's see where the Vampire Fangs come to.
So Riki Desolator is very interesting. I don't think I see second item Deso on Rikis that frequently. It will help with their push, but like you were saying, I was kind of expecting the Nature's Prophet to be building it.
Yeah, especially with that early Blightstone pickup.
Yeah.
Spectre close to that Radiance. Has a stack here on the Ancients to clean up. Should put him into the gold necessary to get that full Radiance finished.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, and they're protecting her. They know she's so close that that's really the only thing that matters right now.
And there it is. There's the gold. There's the recipe on the way. It would be brutal for, say, maybe the Riki to come in and kill that courier, but Sunlight, thankfully, in his own jungle. They find an Imp Claw for the Storm. What is Riki holding in a neutral item right now? Vambrace. And then Nature's Prophet. He's going for the Imp Claw.
Yeah, and Spaker's going to be getting a... Oh, he gets the brooch, actually. I thought he was going to... They have a clumsy net. Does anyone... Oh, Mio's holding the clumsy net. Really? Okay. The Storm Spirit has the clumsy net.
Asterisk back towards mid. I assume they're going to smoke, as they do.
And they're going to be fighting into Haunt plus Radiance.
And that's
I don't
if
know if
they
they've
find the
confirmed it
Spectre.
yet. Yeah.
This is something I think they should have been doing earlier. And they're going to change their decision to go after Roche. Not the worst decision, but it could be a problem.
They see it. This Sentry Ward actually sees the Riki and this Observer Ward providing the normal vision, so they know it's happening. But are they not doing anything about it? They scan it also.
Yeah, and they know it's low, and they just don't end up going after it at all. A bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it's super surprising because they had outpost control also. So, I mean, with Axe, with a Blink Dagger, you have Haunt with Radiance. Void Spirit has both of his Astral Step charges. I'm very surprised that they just let that Aegis go for free to a Storm Spirit, who is one of the most devastating heroes to just give up an Aegis to. And they definitely saw it, and they definitely scanned it, so they knew it was happening.
A rough one to give up right there, and they're going to lose their 2-2 tower on top of losing out on that Aegis. You've got the Desolator finished on the Riki. He's going into the BKB next. This brings Nature's Prophet just into a BKB, and after that Bloodstone, they'll go for a second Orchid on Mio. So silence is all around as you've got Smoke Screen, an Orchid on the Nature's Prophet, and you'll soon have an Orchid on the Storm.
And then double them with the Soulbind and some Phantom's Embraces, and yeah, this is going to be a very quiet kill-steal Kommando.
Jeez. It feels like they almost have global silence. If they put it all together the right way.
Mio looking for something. They still have plenty of time left on this Aegis, so I don't really think they need to go around for gank attempts. They could just slow push. And yeah, that is what Storm Spirit will be drawing.
And
Zero's
staying a
kind of
bit more
just
objective too.
chilling here, and no one's pushing out the bot wave. I don't. They're like very kill oriented right now, but
Ooh, Spectre's been spotted by Sunlight. Ball Lightning in. They've got the Electric Vortex pulling back into the silence. They will steal the Static Remnant. The Aether Remnant will hold on to Mio, but they get the kill on the Solar, and they'll pop the BKB on the Nature's Prophet. However, Spacker with the Yules, Ice Path hits the Pango, but continuing forward is Sunlight. Has the silence on copy for a moment. Blink call onto the Riki. This is too far for him, and he will end up dropping. So Sunlight a little bit ahead of himself, and they will lose the Riki for the life of the Spectre and the Rubik.
Clean Spectre kill. Not sure why Crow activated BKB. I don't know what he was worried about. Because if it's a blink call...
Zero, silenced and being run at here. The Soulbind connects to the Void Spirit for the last duration, or last second of the duration. They've got the silence now thrown onto the Storm as they get the kill there on a Zero, but well, Master Risk and Spacker, they're both dead. Haunt comes in from low skill. Ice Path lands onto the Nature's Prophet. Make it another kill here for low skill on the side of KSK. Oh boy, wow. Mio looking like he might die as well. He has, of course, has that Aegis and that last bit of Ball Lightning mana used to avoid the Aether Remnant.
Yeah, I'm guessing that the only reason Spectre didn't choose to reality onto the Storm Spirit is because if they killed the Storm Spirit and then he comes back with the Aegis, then all of a sudden he may turn the fight around dramatically. So instead they were like, he's out of mana, he's not going to be a problem anymore, I'm just going to go and kill this Nature's Prophet instead with my Haunt. So, oh, actually he sees copy.
Yeah, with the help of the
smoke.
Riki.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is not good. It looked like it was going pretty well for KSK, but losing copy again, now dead for 90 seconds with no buyback.
Holy crap. 90 seconds? What? How is he dead for? Did he buy back earlier?
I think he had used buyback earlier, and his death timer was longer.
Jeez. Yeah, he's dead for so long, my god. Wow, okay. Yeah, that sucks. They should definitely be able to take some objectives now, because they still have 1 more minute left on the Aegis, and Storm gets an Arcane Rune as well, so the Storm can just play like a moron and really not be concerned about anything. His Prophet is kind of threatening to TP behind enemy lines.
Whoa! Jesus, Spectre
Right
taking a lot
skill.
of damage. Now here comes the Nature's Prophet with the BKB. They try to get the kill here onto the Storm, who will get his Aegis pop. They'll TP out on the Spectre. So Spectre survives. Solar TP's out. Ball Lightning over. Zero in the trees, unseen, but now the Treants have him. So they've got the vision. They've got the Electric Vortex, and they'll get the kill.
That Spectre was so close to death. but the Orchid soul burn damage was not enough quite yet, and Storm doesn't really care about giving up that Aegis. Like I said, it would be timing out in 3 seconds anyway, so all according to plan. Mio now has 19 Bloodstone charges, and they will start marching down and take this last outer tower.
Question is, do they want to keep going? They don't have this Aegis anymore. About to have the Orchid on the Storm. Definitely a point where they can wait for the BKB on the Riki. Storm can finish off his Orchid and maybe even wait for the next Roche.
Yeah, I would say Riki BKB is definitely the highest priority. They can maybe get into some ganks with that, but probably wait for all 3 components before sieging another high ground.
Ooh, Spectre. I'm not certain you wanted to be there, but Spectre now Haunt and jumping around to Master Risk, who try to TP out. The Inkswell stops him from committing and getting that kill. But that'll allow the Grimstroke to get out, and Spectre's Haunt now down.
Yeah, I think they should still hold off, even with Haunt being down. Just wait until Riki completes the BKB, and then go for really whatever you want. Because this Void Spirit is like way further behind than in the previous game. Again, like still relatively the same net worth, but as the Storm Spirit, but the Storm Spirit's also been getting a lot of Bloodstone charges, so his earlier net worth on the Storm Spirit is a little bit more valuable than the net worth on the Void Spirit, who hasn't really been able to do very much with his Aghanim Scepter. I actually don't know when he completed it. I'm assuming he completed it at least like 5 minutes ago or so. And definitely has a lot of potential to disrupt Storm Spirit's gameplay, but now that Riki's about to have his BKB completed, it isn't really going to be that big of a deal for the other cores of family.
Being delivered. And I think they're going to smoke. Yeah.
Yeah, Riki BKB, let's go. Kuro is a Shadow Blade also, so he could just TP. I'm actually kind of surprised he went for a Shadow Blade with a Riki on his team, because there's already tons of Sentry Vision all over the place. But if they see Copy... Oh.
Inkswell on the Storm, but not going to make a jump until after it pops. Fall Lightning all the way over, looking over at the Jakiro. Aegis Prophet goes in with the BKB and has the Sprout. That actually blocks Axe in a horrible spot.
Wow.
I don't even know if that was really meant for him. But here comes the Rolling Thunder here from the Rubik, as well as the Rolling Thunder from Spacker. So around and around and around they'll go. And Spacker now by Sunlight with that BKB is still taking a significant amount of damage.
Yeah, and that's the 10-second BKB debut, and all they get is an Axe kill, which that was a very slick Sprout placement. I don't think it was intentional. I think he was mainly going for the Jakiro, who manages to claw his way out, as Filmini does have a Quelling Blade on the Jakiro. But that Axe, on the other hand, yeah, he was trapped there, completely hemmed in, and he goes down. And now another Arcane Rune for Mio. 20 Bloodstone charges as well after picking up that kill on the Axe.
Roche up in 20 seconds. Question is, how long is Master Risk going to sit in here?
Yeah, I'm curious, because they can take it fairly quickly. This Desolator on the Riki, and all the Treants to be able to tank it, so it's not even that big of a commitment, but you do have to be worried about Haunt now.
He stays in long
about
enough. He thought about it. He moved for a second.
He did.
He spots it. Meanwhile, though, Filmini, he'll get spotted by Master Risk, and the rest of the team might be looking to set up.
What was this boy cubing up for? He still had like plenty of time left on that spell steal. What was he? Did Storm like jump in or something?
Maybe to save the Jakiro, but now you've got the Blink Strike. Blink Call attempted here by Zero. Won't catch him. The BKB's been popped. They get the kill into Filmini. They've got the Silence on it too. They'll take it Solar, and now they'll look over at Zero. They'll give chase, Ball Lightning forward, Rolling Thunder comes in and make it a third. That is bad positioning from KSK and no help coming in from Losko.
Well, props to Sunlight for going for that even, because he was basically all alone. Obviously, he knows that the Storm Spirit can fall up very, very quickly, but he committed to it, and wow, it paid off handsomely. Mio now has 23 Bloodstone charges on the Storm Spirit. And obviously they can take this Roche completely uncontested. Yeah, sure, Spectre has Haunt, but if you don't have your Axe, no point.
Is mine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Oh boy. Copy.
Dire's courier.
His courier gets killed and he just stands there. that happened
Storm Spirit.
right. Yeah, that happened right next to him. Did he not notice?
It's possible. Yeah, basically nowhere is safe on this map now. Even Spectre is like farming the enemy jungle. You'd think she'd be safe, but
Oh, Haunt? Where to?
onto the Ricky.
Not the best spot to be. Now no more mana. Master Risk with the Blink Strike forward, but low skill. Fast enough to get back towards the rest of his team.
Yeah, they can definitely siege high ground now. With Void Spirit being dead again for a very, very long time, that's really the biggest problem for Storm Spirit, because this is a BKB-less Storm Spirit, so if he gets randomly silenced by the Resonant Pulse, oh, they see Axe in the top lane. I wonder if Mio's debating a long leap. But I'm surprised they're not pushing. This seems like the best opening. There's no Haunt, there's no Void Spirit, and they have a Desolator on the Ricky, but they are just kind of, I don't know, looking for picks still.
Meandering around.
They may just want to be more reliant on split push as opposed to like a long leap onto Spectre. They get the break with the Silver Edge.
Rolling Thunder perfect, and they should get the kill.
A storm was coming.
Oh, I feel for the Spectre. The Storm Spirit is gigantic at this point.
Not exactly fair. 25 Bloodstone charges going into the BKB. Things are just going to get harder to kill this this Storm.
I don't even think I've seen him use Clumsy Net at all. What other neutral items do they have? Surely they have something better. There's a Titan Sliver just sitting in the inventory. He has a Grove Bow available also, which would be pretty good. But my man's Clumsy Netting it up.
Haste.
Oh, and a deep ward placed by Kuro in this enemy high ground. Yeah, this is one of the best parts about having a Prophet. And now you go in.
Lightning. Telekinesis comes through. They've got the Macropyre down. Sunlight pops the BKB, and now the Storm ends up dead, losing that Aegis. They'll try to get the kill here onto Zero as he tries to run out of the tricks of the trade. They'll get the kill into Zero. Now they'll look for the rest. Silence is out onto the Void, who locks up Mio, and his second life almost taken away from him. He eats the cheese. The Rolling Thunder comes in as well as the Soulbind, so now they've got the Electric Vortex onto multiple heroes. They get the kill here on a Copy as well as Solar, and it is just going to get so much worse. Filmini dies. Spaker ends up biting the dust on the side of Team Family, but the buybacks come out from the Rubik as well as the Jakiro, as they have lost everything.
Wow, and they actually back out. They really don't want Sunlight to die, I guess, because without his BKB, he is very, very vulnerable. And to be fair, Haunt was not spent, so Haunt is available now. So maybe a pretty good decision to back off there. They like Storm Spirit's just getting bigger and bigger. 28 Bloodstone charges. Now he has the BKB as well, so he has very, very little to be concerned about. And so, I mean, with this super aggressive vision, they'll just keep hunting for picks constantly. Like, even as a support, this is one of the most uncomfortable times to be a support, because you're like, I know where they have wards. I know where they see us. But the second I even think about putting a sentry ward down, Storm Spirit can come balling in from 5,000 units away, and I'm just going to give up another Bloodstone charge.
He's now sitting with 28 Bloodstone charges.
46 mana regen per second.
At least when you die these days, you only lose 3.
I'm over here.
Definitely a much better feeling than losing a huge chunk of them.
Illusion.
So Sunlight with the Abyssal Blade is going into the Daedalus next. They move towards mid.
smoke.
They are smoked up, but the ball lightning away as they broke the smoke on Zero. They might reinitiate, though. They just don't know where the rest of the Dire team sits. They're right by 0.
Oh,
Sunlight moving forward. There's the
Sunlight.
Ice Path, and now the Silence comes into the Void Spirit. The BKB is going to pop here by the Storm. They get the kill here on a Solar. They'll use the Haunt, but is it going to be enough? The Rolling Thunder comes in from Solaire. They'll take out 0. The BKB was popped by Void Spirit, but he can't go back in. Haunt came out, and
low
now
skills on the
boy.
run.
On the run with a minimal amount of mana, but so is Mio trying to help out.
Oh, look at the Yule's vision.
Speaker with the Yules! He'll kill the Spectre. Dead for 80, does have buyback. But that was a great job there.
Yeah, man, that split second of vision, being able to catch her out, that is devastating. That may be game basically then, because now tier 4 items are coming out at 37 minutes. Leveler found for the Nature's Prophet, and they're going to go in onto this Jakiro.
And so much trouble trying to run.
So many
Has the Ghost
silences.
Scepter to survive for a second. But yeah, Orchid, Smoke Screen. You're not getting away.
Spectre really does not want to have to buy back, but I don't
Seems
know if you're going to be
inevitable.
able to hold on to structures against this freaking leveler. Which Ricky's not even applying. Where is Ricky? He's just looking for kills. He has the Desolator, you know, that debuff is pretty valuable.
Dire's middle barracks is falling. Dire's middle barracks is falling. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So I'll look towards top. Maybe staying a little bit more objective than the previous game.
Yeah, Prophet may TP behind enemy lines. He's completed his Scythe of Vice, and so... I mean, they've got level 25 now on the Storm Spirit, so auto remnants, plus 32 Bloodstone charges, plus
God.
BKB.
Dark Portrait.
30,000 net worth advantage right now for family. I find it very unlikely that they throw this game.
Would you like a Dark Portrait to come your direction? Because that's
I
coming.
would, actually. Yeah, against the Spectre, getting that free Radiance.
Oh my god. Did they get all their tier 4 items yet? Yeah, they did. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
get the cape, and all of a sudden, that Dark Portrait is disgusting.
Oh man, no.
32
put the-
Bloodstone charges. Jesus.
Yeah, and the Relic on the Storm Spirit as well. A little bit surprised they're not giving it to the Nature's Prophet instead. I feel like the long duration Hex could be pretty valuable, but, you know, long Vortex is also pretty great. No Prowling, Spectre. Oh, you can't really confidently go anywhere.
Oh boy. Grimstroke might be in trouble, gets silenced. But now Master Risk throws out that
no.
portrait, and now they've got the Radiance of their own. However, Soulbind, Haunt, Copy pops the BKB. He starts to go after Master Risk. There's the Haunt going over that direction, but he is still not dead. Finally falls to the Astral Step, but they've got their eyes set on the Spectre. They've got the Rolling Thunder coming back in, as well as the Silence out onto the Void Spirit, and there's the Hex. They take out the Spectre. They've got themselves the Jakiro gone, and now an Ultra Kill as they kill off Copy, get the full team wipe, and get the GG.
Right, well then, all it took was Mio Storm Spirit, because this was probably by far his best game yet.